Hello everyone, welcome back. In this episode here of Bitcoin Trade, follow up to what I thought about the Chinese banning Bitcoin. If you've seen that episode, or if you missed it, just go ahead and just go back through. If you're new to this, I advise you to go through Bitcoin 1 through now. Feel free to skip through a lot of information on all the Bitcoin trade episodes. Kind of spread them out over all these episodes. So if this is something interesting to you, and anything that I say is interesting to you, then you should see the rest of the episodes. Okay. So this is kind of a continuation from the last episode here, which says title Happy Chinese New Year, Bitcoin biggest exchange opens for business despite bank warning. So this is kind of weird. Apparently Bitcoin China, the largest exchange in China, is now accepting deposits despite the ban by the Chinese government. And apparently Bitcoin China feels that they're within compliance by accepting deposits, but at any time it can change. So for my last episode, I kind of mentioned that if you look at the chart here, there we go. Here's the chart. Is that, you see a little bit better, kind of? Anyways, here's the chart, and this is kind of like all run up to China, and then right here, excuse me, I get the pen. So basically, right here is when they announced that they're banning Bitcoin through the financial institution. That would include the exchanges, and they had until like January 31st to for anybody to withdraw their money out or no longer be able to deposit funds into the exchange to get Bitcoins. So you see the drop, you see the bounce back, and then you see the drop as a lot of people are selling out. And this is and remember, at this time, a lot of people are saying, here comes the crash. This is the end of Bitcoin. Well, the world said, and when I say the world, I mean people who are voluntarily risking their money, not leveraged money, not borrowed money, real money to prepay, all right, their fiat currency, their instrument of debt, in which they, don't want to be put into slavery anymore. The people said, well, people of the world, or at least on Mt. Gox, but you'll see it in other exchanges too, but the people of the world said, screw you, China, and we don't need you. So you can take your Chinese money and put it where the sun don't shine, and there you go. And then here you go. Here's the announcement of this article right here, which is there you go. And like I said, it's kind of, I don't know. I think this is like a backdoor or a way to for the Chinese government to save face, because they realize, wow, we could be missing out. People would see us as weak. China's supposed to be the new economy, the new leader, and whatever, which it's not true. The greatest resource, in my opinion, that China has are the Chinese people. They got a lot of Chinese people, and unfortunately, they're all being worked to death. Not the rich ones, the ones that the everyday Chinese people that need to feed their families and everything. They're being worked to death, and it's kind of sad to see that. But if China wants to be the nation with the cheapest products, well, you did it. You are the nation of the cheapest products. So this concludes to my other article here. Let's mute this thing. There we go. So here's the other headline. It says Cryptocurrency News Roundup. China Bitcoin ban has no effect on value. Well, duh. I mean, anybody reading this? I mean, you don't even have to read the article to, you just have to read the headline and yeah, duh. Let me see here. Let's go to Bitsy. Maybe Bitsy picked up some Chinese money. Let's go on the 12 here. Maybe on the 1 day. Let's do the 1 day. There we go. So here's Bitsy. Again, this is although U.S. dollars, but I mean, just look how the news they're banning Bitcoin. Joop, joop. And the world said, well, screw you, China. Zoop. And you know it's not the high, but you're looking at about, let me see, one, two, three. It's a $300 difference from this high from where it is now. So China, you're only worth 300 bucks for one Bitcoin, while the rest of the world is worth 800 bucks a Bitcoin. So 3 to 8. I'll take the 8. China, you can keep the 300 bucks. I know that 300 bucks probably goes a long way in China. You could buy probably like, you know, a lot of iPhones and what else we make in China that we should be making in America, in my opinion. Well, that would be everything, wouldn't it? So, anyways, there you go. That's what the world thinks of your ban, China. That we really don't care, and you're gonna be left behind. And it's kind of like this is, and then the fact that they're gonna allow deposits into the bank despite the warning. That's just in my opinion, that's a way of saving the Chinese government of saving face. If they're allowing this to happen, they're allowing this to happen, and they're probably not going to enforce their ban if they want to get back into the Bitcoin game. But who knows? Maybe they are serious. Like I said, for China to go back on what it said it would do is a sign of weakness. And once you open that, once you let the genie out of the bottle on that, there's no going back. Once they show any signs of weakness, yeah, you can kiss that communist, party goodbye. Of course, I never thought China as being a communist country anymore, because they're so capitalist in nature, but at the same time their controls, their stranglehold on the people is communist, in my opinion. But anyways, so there you go. There's some news on that, and let me see some other news. This is kind of like a news, video on Bitcoin. Let me see what other news I got here. Let me see. Okay, so all right, let's go address this. And here's the headline. Oh, there's a nice picture of this gentleman I've never met, but look at him. Okay, first of all, look at this picture. Now this guy's like some kind of position of law enforcement, because look at him. He's got the hands. He got his hands up like he's ready to take on, I don't know, John Gotti or something, which he would get his ass kicked if he ever took on John Gotti, if John Gotti was still alive. But anyways, but look at him. He's got his fists clenched like he's ready to kick some ass, and there's his partner right there. He's on the sidelines waiting for his to be tagged so he can do stuff. And this guy, I don't know what this guy is doing, but look at his face. When you look at the lips, you see those lips? They're like that. When someone does that, they don't believe what this guy is saying. When I see someone do this, they don't believe a damn word this guy, anything that's coming out of this mouth. Anyways, oh, hold on, my young one here wants me to do something. So let me cut out and I'll cut back in. All right, sorry about that. I cut in, but yeah, as I was saying, I'm just analyzing the picture. I mean, sometimes I don't even know these people. I wasn't there at the hearing. I didn't hear anything. But you look at the snapshot. Look at him. He's ready to fight crime. And this guy oh, sorry about that. Well, this guy in the back doesn't believe a word this guy is saying. That's just my input on it. So, oh, uh-oh, hold on. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that. So, okay, you got my input on the picture, but apparently here this gentleman is the district, New York County District Attorney. I don't know. You guys read his name. I don't know how to say it. And then that's this guy, and then this is of the northern part, I think, right? County, and then for the southern district, so northern district, southern district. Okay, cool. Anyways, this was the hearing, and let me see what the title is. The title is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's fate is in the hands of clueless regulators. So this is the article here. I don't know who the guy is. I didn't really read much through it. You know, a lot of this stuff is just kind of gets repetitive. They don't really talk about too much in detail. They just kind of report. But anyways, okay, this is interesting. Let's see what New York does. If you've seen some of my previous episodes, you'll know that Washington has declared Bitcoin to be money. And if you saw that episode and you saw their definition of money and how money is being defined currently, I have to agree with New York State that Bitcoin is money. Interesting. I might have to move to New York and do business in New York. I mean, not New York. I'm sorry, Washington State. I might go and start businesses, Bitcoin businesses in New York because I think, I'm sorry, not New York, Washington State. If New York becomes a place where it's difficult for well, anybody to start a Bitcoin business or accept Bitcoin as payment or transact in Bitcoin. If it becomes a pain in the ass, I will never spend my money in New York, or I never spend my Bitcoin in New York. I would avoid New York altogether. Um, yeah, and if I did any business i- in New York, I would do it out of the state of Washington to do any transactions with a company or person from New York or in New York. Um, I would do that. I would never do business in New York. And maybe it's appropriate because when I think of New York, I think of a couple things in New York. First thing I think of is like Big Apple. I think of apples. The Big Apple. I love New York. That's another one I think about. And then the other stuff I think about is mafia, organized crime, um, more crime. I went to New York one time, and I have to admit their subway stinks. It smells like piss. That's the other thing that comes in mind. Let me see. What's the other thing? World Trade Center. I mean, I went to New York and I took my wife her first time to America. We went to New York and we took the ferry boat to I don't think it was Ellis Island, but we went to the Statue of Liberty. We went by Ellis Island, which is, I mean, it's last time I was there, it was kind of shameful to see Ellis Island go to shambles, and it's such a historic island. Albeit it was kind of like you know, well, it has a lot of history, you know. Although I do consider it a form of like, um, a stopping point for people to, I don't know, be checked in. You go into the island, you get checked in, see if you're all right, then you go to New York. I mean, it was kind of, anyways. Uh, Enough of New York. I mean, these guys they look like clowns with a tie. Um, the reason I say that, I'm not trying to be mean to these guys, but you know, I think about all the stuff that goes on to New York. I mean, first thing that comes in my mind is Bernie Madoff. Um, you know, and then all these other things like, well, here's one out of Houston, Enron. But then again, these things were all like, you know, these people in New York could have done something, right? I mean, they're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange, right? MCI, WorldCom, Adelphia. What's another one? I don't know. The list just goes on. I mean, these are just Bernie Madoff definitely stands. I know some people hear that and they just get mad over there in New York. Um, so you know, do I think this title kind of accurately fits what's going on? I have to say there seems to be some truth in this. I mean, I don't have to go far. Just if I went to New York and I said Bernie Madoff, I'm sure people would like go uh, would go Madoff on me. Anyways, enough New York. Okay, I think New York is they're milking the publicity here. Um, I mean, just look at the picture. I'm tough on crime, and he's not too sure what to say. He's just the other guy on the southern side of the district there. And like I said, this guy right here, he gives it all the way. Look at the frown on his face. He doesn't believe anything this guy is saying. So that's my take. Just to let you know. And the last thing here is, I'm looking at this news report here. Bitcoin Ponzi concern sparks warning from Estonia Bank. Well, this is like the biggest joke of all, because a lot of these financial institutions are themselves a Ponzi scheme, running a Ponzi scheme within a Ponzi scheme. And the funny thing is, they're literally causing the Ponzi scheme by issuing notes of debt. So it's kind of weird for a Ponzi scheming bank to say Bitcoin is a Ponzi. And I have to admit, there is some truth to it. Here's where people can misunderstand that Bitcoin's a Ponzi. Okay, when I say Bitcoin will go to infinity as long as money printing goes to infinity, that I believe is true. And here's the thing, money itself is a Ponzi scheme. So therefore, it is true, Bitcoin is also a Ponzi scheme. Therefore, if they keep printing money to perpetuate the money Ponzi scheme that's being done with fiat currency, well, if it exists in money, if it exists in fiat currency, US dollars, whatever, it will also exist in Bitcoin. See, calling Bitcoin a Ponzi doesn't mean that, alright, it's like a Ponzi calling another Ponzi Ponzi. Does anybody get what I said? It's like I'm a thief, okay, and I'm calling somebody else who's doing the same thing I'm doing a thief. I'm sorry. This is just the way I see things, and I want to share that with you. But if you saw things the way I saw things, or I see things, um, you would just literally laugh at money, and your whole world would change when you think about what money is, how is money created, what is money, So, I don't know, just give you guys something to think about. I mean, you should, because if you think about money, uh, I would say a lot of people think about money, a lot of people stress about money, a lot of people kill money, or kill over money, they rob over money, they steal over money, they will commit fraud over money, they will, I mean, just horrendous acts for more money. But when you boil it down, I mean, the weirdest thing is, if you don't commit any crimes, if you obey the laws and the legal structure, you can get free money for not breaking the law. But unfortunately, I think the system we're in, the banking system we're in, it's just too corrupt. And the people of the world who really have real stake, real concerns, they need to feed their family. They have, you know, their livelihood is on the line. Well, they want to take back control of their life. And for me, I find that control through Bitcoin because it's independent of any bank, of any government, of any exchange, of any person or persons or groups. It is there's no one controls Bitcoin. All right. I don't meet I don't meet other Bitcoin traders or the miners in a secret room somewhere and discuss how we're gonna kill fiat currency or how we're gonna dominate the world and enslave everybody so everybody works and we don't. All we do is perpetuate a Ponzi scheme. I have no evidence of that, but there are some evidence of things like this with fiat currency, secret meetings, um, you know, well, go do some research, having secret meetings, fixing prices, perpetuating Ponzi schemes to perpetuate an existing Ponzi scheme. So, I'll just trying to shed some light. Maybe another opinion, a theory. That's all. Something for the viewers to think about. So, all right. So that's that. And so let's I guess let's go back to a chart. That's what you're all here for. You want to see a chart analysis, which I will be more than happy to give you. All right. So this is Mt. Gox. And you know why I trade there? Because of the bands in the price make it much easier for me to kind of read versus let me see here like this. So I mean, look, this is a 15-minute on Bitstamp, and look at this. It's very narrow. It is just ranging within this price, but look at the tight spread on that. And look at the price movement in general. It's only about what about a $10 movement recently. This is on the 15 minutes, so it lasts maybe 2-3 hours. $10 movement in price. Let's even look at BitC on 15 minute again. And there you go. Narrow bands, a little bit wider on the spread here, so it gives you a little bit more wider bands. But look at the movement, look at the price movement. It's only about a $10 price movement in the last 2-3 hours maybe, right? So that's kind of not much action going on. Okay, now you look at Mt. Gox. Now you look at Mt. Gox, 15 minute, and this is with my lines. Okay, I'll back up later. Let me see if I can. Oh well, you see it. Anyways, see the gap in here is much larger, so that's what's creating these bands. And what I like about these bands is, you can have a nice little limit order here and get a price action that moves up, because what drives the price is not limit orders, they're market orders. Market orders moves the price. If you missed out on my episode on why people would do market orders versus limit orders, I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to watch my video episodes from the beginning if you're just watching right now. So let's see here. Let's see if I could just. There we go. See if that works. There we go. All right. So what's going on here? what are these two lines? Where are we? What's going on? So, um, uh, not too much volume going on like it did in December. So you probably have to move away from the 15-minute and back out a little bit further, half an hour, okay, 1 hour, 2 hour, 4 hour. Okay, now we're seeing something. Now, unfortunately, now that the volume has somewhat decreased, the price action is not moving quite as much as before. You have to move back to a more longer time frame period to see what's going on now. And so, as I've mentioned for a while that I thought this was on a downtrend, and prices have gone down for the other indices, but Mt. Gox seems to be holding a strong support line right around here for some reason. I don't know if it even, maybe people are watching my video and they're going, wait a minute, will you look at that? I don't know. Anyways, it's starting to close in into this triangle here. It did not break below this line. The price did go under the support line, but it obviously did not fall and did not finish under the support line. So this support line is still intact, although it's slowly breaking down over time. But it's really fighting to stay up on this support line, and then also this is running another support line on this downtrend. So you're going to see a lot of movement right here, as you can see. Let me see if we can see a little bit better on the 4 hour. Okay, we can see a little bit better on the 2 hour here. So you see it's going down, and it's this move. If you see my previous episode, you'll see that I put a line in here, and this is the breakout from this long downtrend, this big green candlestick here. And so it's trying to move above this particular support line after it's bouncing off of this support line. So it's going back and forth, back and forth. It may even bounce around a little bit more, but my point is it's going to be hitting into this top resistant line. So you may get another push for it right here, and depending on some news or what happens, two things can happen here. It's going to break and go up, or it's going to hit up, fall down, or just never make it up, just boom, go down. So some of the things that I've been doing, and if you know what I've been doing, you'll have a better understanding here. I've mentioned I bought a gift card at this price right here, so I expended my existing bitcoins, and a way to increase my purchasing power, or have a trade that you wouldn't consider as a trade, but buy something with your bitcoin, because this is the higher price. I should have done it right here, but that's alright. I'll do it. And you can do this with any platform. It doesn't have to be Mt. Gox. But the reason I do this at Mt. Gox is the price moves are, I think, larger at Mt. Gox, and the bands of the price, to me, especially on the 15-minute, are more, I can read them a lot better. So I bought something here, and I felt the price was going to go down, because I've been saying it looks like the downtrending, this whole downtrending is following a downtrend. But either way, so I bought in at $9.45. So I sold at this price, bought in $9.45. The difference I made is basically additional profits, or I sold at a high price, expending less Bitcoin, right? And then I replenished the Bitcoin supply using less money. So I bought a $200 gift card, so I had to use whatever Bitcoin that they went off. I think they did go off some kind of Bitstamp price, very close to Bitstamp Bitsy price. But like I said, it doesn't matter. I know this is Mt. Gox and they're higher, but it doesn't matter. What matters is I sell high, buy low. That's all that matters. So I bought in at 200 and it came down here. I bought in less than 200 for the same amount of Bitcoins. Okay, so I basically I replenished I covered my position, and at the same time, if you think about it, I bought a grocery card. I bought a grocery gift card. I was gonna spend that money anyway. So instead of paying, whatever, um, what I really did was um, the stored value in Bitcoin. All right, the stored value in Bitcoin. I'm learning a lot of words. If you haven't seen my episode on Washington State declaring Bitcoin to be money, you should go back and look at that episode because some of the words I'm saying came from the definitions of what money is by the state of Washington. And they clearly stated Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, virtual currency, but they specifically stated, it says Bitcoin being the best known, all right? And they tell you why they think it's money. They give you the definition of what money is. So, stored value, all right? I took the stored value of this Bitcoin at this price, expended it, came in down here at a lower price, and the stored value of my US dollars stayed the same because, I have cash, electronic cash, and electronic Bitcoin. So my electronic US dollars, the value hasn't changed. It's still there. It doesn't move because I got it as, cash is waiting on the sidelines. So I bought in at a less than $200, theoretically, right, for the same amount of Bitcoin. So that's another way to trade. So I already have a position in here, so I didn't feel I had to buy another position. But I did buy another position because I recently I gave someone zero point 0.1 Bitcoin because, for me that was all profit at Bitcoin anyway because of my trades. And so I wanted to just give this guy, 0.1 Bitcoin because he said he was interested. And remember I told you this was like a loan, kind of like a loan in the earlier episodes. You can give it to your friends, and then in return, if they do anything with it or make money or want to cash out, they just come back to you to cash out, or for you to buy their bitcoins. If they made bitcoins, you can buy them at a different rate, like a Bitstamp rate. Or what I do is I buy at the lowest out of the three majors. I buy at the lowest price because you never know. Mt. Gox could be the lowest price. I've seen it be the lowest price when it was crashing. So, when some people will come to you during the crash and they'll be like, can you buy this from me? And I'll be like, well, it's going to be the lowest price of the three major US Bitcoin indices. And if it's Mt. Gox, I will give you Mt. Gox price if it's the lowest price out of the three major indices. So, anyways, so that's kind of thing. And, this is a person I know. Okay, person I know. Person I trust. Okay, and the person who trusts me. That's the ideal trading partner. I don't have to go out to local Bitcoins and meet a lot of scammers. For every 10, scammers you meet, you might meet one honest person. If you do it this way, I know everybody, I trust them, and they trust me. They won't ever have to go to a scammer ever again. They don't have to experience what I experienced going with all the scams. All the deception, the fraud, the lies, the dishonesty, the stupidity. So, anyways, I gave him $100. It was whatever. It's 0.1. That'd be like $93.51 or something like that. So he said, okay, cool. So I just loaded his Samsung Galaxy with the Bitcoin Wallet app. And I just sent it to him. He doesn't quite know what to do with it yet, so I probably have to sit down with him and tell him, what he wants to do. Ask him, what do you want to do with it? What do you want to trade it? You want to buy something with it? You want to invest it? You want to just sit on it for a year and then come back to me a year later, and I'll buy it back from you, or So we'll be talking. But at least I know one thing, that he'll come to me to trade because I know him, he knows me. I trust him, and he trusts me. Very, you know, and it's a great way to introduce someone to Bitcoin with no risk. Just give some Bitcoins away and see what comes of it. I've been talking about this. Obviously this video talks about it, so any of you can watch it. But anyways, um, so that's something recently that's happened. So let's take a look at. I guess you guys want to know what the price is gonna be. What I think the price is gonna be. Let me see here. I'll do a 4-hour, 6-hour. Okay, I'm gonna do a 6-hour here. All right, so it's not looking very bullish. I still think this whole thing is just a uptrending trend. This channel here is just an up channel within a larger downtrending channel. And so far, I mean, it has not, to have this continue to be an up channel, going up trend here, it really has to go above this price, which is way up here now. So it's got a lot of resistance to do that, and it's just been lagging on this bottom uptrending line. That's kind of why I'm a little concerned. I've always been concerned because if you think about it, I've been saying that since right about here, and look what the price is, right about here. It hasn't moved. Although if you traded during this time, you would have made some Bitcoins or money, depending on what you're after. Anyways, this concludes this episode here. I hope this helps. Feel free to comment, like.